episode number 9. And I'm not really sure how to begin this one. This is going to be a little bit of a weird one. This series, it's been going on now for a while. And one of the things that I set out to do when I created this series is create a platform to showcase various types of GTA MC, right? Big clubs, small clubs, great clubs, different types of clubs. I mean, if you look at the type of clubs that we featured, I mean, we have featured folks like the Devil's Few, right? Folks like the Exiled, what I would call like classic 1% serious GTA MCs. I have focused huge GTA MCs like the Banished Breed, right? I have focused on up and comers like Los Muertos. I've even included the Bianchi crime family, right? Just to try to mix it up a little bit and give us a little bit of a flavor for the different paths that we cross when we're dealing with different people in the GTA MC community. So the club that I wanted to focus on tonight is called the Little Shites, Little Shites MC. So the Little Shites are a club that I have known for about a year. They just passed their 1-year anniversary. I have been to a couple of events that they've hosted, like good time events, that kind of thing. And my impression of these guys has always been that this is a small club, a very small club of close friends, guys who grew up together and some others, but a really tight-knit club, a very small, tight-knit club. And in my experience until today, it has always been just like what I would refer to as a good time club, right? These guys are always goofing around, laughing, that kind of thing. So literally every experience that I've had with them has been sort of like a goofy event, right? And a good time, lots of laughs, right? Very light, very easy going. So for me, when I selected them for this, they had just passed their 1-year anniversary as a club. And the reason that I wanted to have them on is, well, first of all, I mean, look at their name, right? Their name is Little Shits MC or Little Shites MC, right? Their centerpiece looked like a poop emoji, right? So to me, and if you've ever seen any of the videos that they put out and that kind of thing, it's very clear that these guys have, sort of a big sense of humor, right? So I had the sense that, they don't take things too seriously, right? They don't take the game too seriously. They're kind of just out here goofing around, having fun, that kind of thing. So for that reason, I wanted to have them on. Additionally, like I say, they're a very small squad, so I didn't want to have, only focused on big MCs. Like I said, I focused on like Mighty Quins, for example. At the time, a relatively small club, but up and coming, doing the right things, having fun, focused on, sort of having a good time together. I wanted to make sure that this is a platform for all different kinds of MCs to be featured, because as we've talked about in the past, nobody else cares about the MC community, right? Outside of us, right? Outside of the people who watch these streams and that kind of thing. It's such a small sort of subculture within, the huge GTA universe. There's just not a lot of places where different MCs who are doing good things in the community can get featured. So for that reason, like I said, I wanted to focus on a small club that, just like I say, is always goofing around and laughing and having fun. I can tell you, in the time that I have known these guys, that's literally been the extent of my experience with them. It's just been like good times goofing around. I can tell you, as soon as I posted the notification that this is the club that I was going to have on tonight, immediately the comment section blew up. My DMs went wild. With people saying dirty, these guys are racist, they're horrible people, on and on and on, right? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, these guys are goofballs. Like, I've seen them, like I said, I've been to a couple different events with them, and it's always been laughs. They've always shown me respect. And so I was really, sort of at first like, what the heck is this? Is this just sort of typical drama? You know how there's so much drama in the MC community, right? Everybody likes to throw around all of these, pejorative terms about people all the time, paint people with a broad brush. This guy's a racist. That guy's a pedo. This chick's a hoe. Like, all the time you hear this stuff in the community, right? And sometimes the truth lies somewhere in between. Sometimes, maybe they did something bad in the past and they want to make up for it. Sometimes they're all the way bad and, they're not the type of people that you want to associate with. But for me personally, I don't like to just listen to what other people tell me about somebody. And I'm sure it's the same way for a lot of you guys, right? Somebody says, I don't like this dude, I don't like that dude, right? And you're like, well, okay, but I don't know him, and he's never done anything bad to me. Oh man, I keep spawning into the same lobby. I swear to God, I am like attached to TEMC for some reason. So again, the big thing here is I don't want to form my opinion of these guys based solely on what other people say to me. And again, with the caveat that there's so much drama in the GTA community. There's so many people that are always throwing around these pejorative terms, and I don't necessarily take everybody's word equally, right? Some people you trust for good reason, others you don't for good reason. So what I wanted to do tonight is get these guys on and give them a chance to speak for themselves about sort of what beliefs they hold, what values they hold as an MC, just like we have for any other MC that has been featured on this series. I want to have a calm, mature, and respectful discussion with these guys. I recognize that where there have been accusations of these guys being racist thrown about, that can bring up some hard feelings, right? Things can get a little bit touchy. I want you to know, before I had these guys on, I did talk with their crew leader, Poopy Lukey, and I told him that this is something that I'm hearing from people in the community, and that I'm not going to, sort of pretend I'm not hearing it, right? Because obviously racism is a very serious issue. I think it's one of these hot button issues that, sort of make a lot of people feel good to kind of rally behind, which is a really great thing. But there's definitely different degrees of racism in terms of how it impacts individuals. There are people who say stupid things. There are people who share stupid memes, for example, that are basically coming from a perspective of ignorance and immaturity. There are people who, on the other hand, that's on one side of the spectrum. On the other hand, are legit, racists that have serious impact on people's lives. They deny people jobs. They deny people upward mobility. They deny people the ability to have access to credit and equal education. They cause, they straight up cause physical harm to people based solely on, bigoted perspectives. That's the spectrum of racism, right? Obviously, to me, that far right spectrum is the one that is of most concern and has most reality in terms of impact on people's lives. The other piece, which is just, quite frankly, being an asshole, is not good for sure. But I find that people particularly again in the MC community will tend to take any little thing and blow it up into some major big deal to suit whatever their particular gripe is against an individual. So for me, again, this is why I wanted to have a first-hand account from these guys as to whether or not they really truly hold those kind of beliefs, and sort of if so, why? It's 2018. Like, is that really where your head's at this point? All right, this guy is really irritating me at this point. So again, that's the big thing. Got him. So again, that's the reason that I wanted to have him on. Things have changed, obviously, dramatically within the past 24 hours. I had a lot of people telling me, you shouldn't have them on. They don't deserve it. They're bad people. Blah blah blah. And again, that may, through the course of this interview, turn out to be true. But nonetheless, what I wasn't going to do after I had announced it is just stick my head in the sand and pretend that that it's all going to go away if I just cover my eyes and cover my ears. So instead, I think as a community, let's put this forum out there. Let's have a mature and calm discussion, hopefully, and let's get all of this stuff out on the table. Yeah, you guys down for that or what? Kit, I have moderating tonight. Kit has instructions. I don't want to stifle people's opinions. I do want you guys to be able to express yourselves, share your thoughts. I would ask you to please do so in a respectful manner to the greatest extent possible. I know that this is a bit of an emotional, topic. At least certain parts of this interview will be maybe emotional for certain individuals. I do want to stress we do not allow any form of racism in the chat. You make any racist remarks, Kit will instantly ban you. If you get out of hand, spam in the chat with ignorant comments of any nature, Kit will time you out. So if you absolutely feel the need to pop off, you might catch a timeout for it. But Kit is not looking to, stop anybody from sharing their opinions. So again, I would just say try to do it in a reasonable and mature tone, and try not to just spam the chat with stuff, right? Just angry stuff, okay? If you do, you'll catch a timeout. If you get way out of hand and you start making racist comments or really truly, ignorant, degrading comments or threats or anything like that, then Kit will ban you, and I don't want to see that happen to anybody, okay? So let's have a good conversation. What do you guys say? You guys down for that? Yeah, Kit will swing that ban hammer, bro. She will smoke you. All right, so that's what I got for an intro. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a different kind of in the cut. Unfortunately, I do like to start these out with a little bit of a warm-up session, going out into free mode and finding people to play GTA with. But as you can see, the last few lobbies that I've been in are completely dead. TEMC has one poor victim way up there in the desert that they are just absolutely pounding the heck out of, about 12 on 1. So I feel bad for that guy, and I'm not going to go up there and engage in that. This guy has a really nice car, though, so I do like looking at that. That's pretty sharp. So what do you guys say? We got 59 people watching. Is that enough? You guys ready to get into it? You want to see this episode of In the Cut? And let me ask you this for the chat, those of you who are watching tonight. I'm curious to learn who you think should be featured next. Because oftentimes when I announce who's going to be on, I get a whole bunch of comments about who should be on and who shouldn't be on. And I really do value those. A lot of the clubs that you've seen focused thus far are clubs that have been recommended by people that were either already on the this episode or on the program, or people who have been recommended by others on the in the chats and so forth. So if you have somebody that you'd like to see strike or MC, that's somebody I would consider maybe. I mean, we're already doing one episode on racism. You want to do another one on GTA drama in the MC community? Sorry, strikers, but you guys do kind of love that stuff. So at any rate, that said, I am going to go ahead and I am going to hop into an invite session, and we're going to go ahead and get these guys in there, and we'll kick off this episode of In the Cut. This is going to be episode 9 with the Little Shites MC. So now I got a minute to read the chat while I'm loading in. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I haven't read the chat yet. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think about having these guys on? Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? Do you think we should just put our heads in the stand and ignore it? Should we not give these guys a platform to get their views out there? What do you guys think? I'm very curious. Undead Reapers, good ones. Outcast Reapers, good ones. Saints Creed, these are a lot of the names that I've seen for sure. Dirty 30 is another one. Bones, I definitely hear a lot. Lost Natives, I think that's the first time I've heard those guys. Check them out. Lords of Wrath, that's what I'm talking about. Yo, you guys are killing it with that series. I love it. I love that series you're working on. Skeleton Thieves, yeah, I definitely hear those guys a lot. I feel bad, quite frankly, that I can't get on to, or I should say that just Xbox is such a pain in the ass to stream from. Like, it's just such a pain in the neck. Such a pain. White Wolf Legion, that's a good one. Yo, I was thinking about having Bobby on someday. Just kicking it with Bobby. Everybody thinks Bobby's the friggin' devil. I love the kid. I think he's awesome. Like, I know he does some wild shit, but it's kind of nice to have a guy like that, in my opinion, in the community that has the ability to kind of keep these knuckleheads at bay. I mean, I have people threatening me with stuff all the time, extra stuff outside the game and that sort of thing. So I kind of like having a guy like Bobby around who seems to have a good moral compass and has the, sort of desire to do the right thing, but has the ability to do the wrong thing if he has to. So, yeah. All right, so I have a session going now. I'm going to add these guys as friends so that I can get them in here. And we are only going to have patched members of the club. We'll get them in here. I'm just accepting some friend requests right now, so I apologize for the blue screen. All right, let's see here. Friends. Let me tell you about my best friend. All right, I got send game invite to OGNT 1137. Send game invite to 420. Send game invite. These guys all use their names look like their names look like license plates. OGNT 420. Except I don't think you can get that one. I think 420 has been banned by the cops. I don't think you can get that as a license plate in most states. But yeah, isn't that funny? Their names do look like license plates. So we got to try to figure out who these guys are. I can never remember like what their names are because you guys know I'm wicked old, right? So it's hard for me to remember stuff. So I'm gonna have to let them do proper introductions for themselves on what their names are, what names link up to those serial numbers that they have. Okay, this is Lukey. I recognize him from his character. I'll let them do their introductions when we get them in here. I'm not saying Bobby's raised, but I'm asking. It's lazy. Don't you start on Bobby. All right. I need to get them invites to the party chat. Stand by 1 second, guys. Invite. We'll get them in here. All right. I got 3 members on so far. We'll get them into the party chat. I have the invites sent out. What's up, Alec? Hey, Kit. Hey, Nos. 11:37. 8:13. Oh man, I got a bad echo from somebody. 420. What's up? Who's echoing like that? All right. Thank you. I am gonna make my way up to your club. Wait, why am I in a public session? Oh, son of a... We ended up in a public session. I definitely do not want to do this in a public session. Especially not this episode. Stand by 1 second, guys. I'm going to go start up a new session. This will just take me a minute. And while I'm doing this, I need you guys to go ahead and set your mics to share. So what you have to do is go into your party control settings and go to advanced settings and share your, and I think there's an audio function. Go to audio and set your mics to share always. And I need each of you to do that so that people can hear you on the stream.
What's up? What's up?
Can I get a mic check? Who was that was just talking?
Yeah. Everybody?
Can you guys hear 813?
Check. 1 2 1 2.
What's up, Assassin? Hey, Taco. The ones with the actual poop as an emblem. Yes, these guys have an actual poop as an emblem, and we'll talk about that once we get over to their clubhouse and get a chance to look at their cut. Okay, so 813 they can hear. Can the rest of you sound off?
Mic check 1 2 1137. Crappy Zachy in the mix.
Can you guys hear Zachy? Yeah, pay attention, Leezy. You need to catch up, man. All right.
And hear him? Is it my turn?
Yep, go ahead.
What's up, guys? OGNT 420 here.
They got Zachy. Good.
Nice.
They got 420. Good. They got Lukey.
We're about to get rocked by the suppressor. Split up, split up, split up.
You guys sound like me in free mode. All right, so I have an invite session going. Now I'm going to send you guys some invites real quick. We'll get you in here, save you from that oppressor. Game invite. So you guys have
seen... Dude, I got off my bike and I'm running. I don't want it blown up.
You guys have seen In the Cut before, right?
Yeah.
I have. They have.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna follow a pretty standard format. We will we'll do some interviews, talk to you about your club, the history, sort of where you came up with the name. Obviously, that's something everybody wants to know. We'll get into some of the more sensitive subjects, and then we'll take it from there.
Yes.
How's that sound?
Sounds good
perfect,
to me.
Man.
All right, good. So I got an invite out to you guys. Just go ahead and join that session as soon as you can. What's up, Kaylee? Hey, Big Papa. I love seeing all those green names in the chat. Look at you guys. Looking good out there. For those of you who don't know, all those folks with the green names, those are all channel sponsors. Everybody that you see in that chat that has a green name is somebody who sponsors the channel. It means they pay on a monthly basis to help to support the channel and motivate me to do a good job for all of you guys. And Those are my best friends, quite frankly. So when I say I love you guys, I'm talking to them specifically. The rest of you I like a lot, but those guys I love. You understand? That's quite frankly. So when I say I love you guys, this right here, that's a link. If you want to become a channel sponsor, follow that link and press the green button that says join. Then it'll ask you for your credit card information, all right? But that's how you become a channel sponsor. So you can see there Kit, Kaylee Bear, Dibs, Nos. Who else we got for channel sponsors in the chat today? Oh, man, we got a whole bunch of them. I see Lord Tone in there. I see Taco Bane in there. Those little icons that you see next to their names indicate how long they've been a channel sponsor. So, for example, that red thing next to Taco's name or next to Kit's name with the 6 in it indicates that they've been a channel sponsor for over 6 months. As you can see there, San Andreas Customs, they have 2 ticks above their name. That means they've been a channel sponsor for 2 months. So when you see those guys in the chat, you got to understand those are people who support the channel and my most appreciated subscribers. So thank you guys. All right, have you guys joined this session?
Yeah, we're here, man. What's up?
All right, good. I'm gonna head up to your clubhouse. We'll go do a little ride. We'll have a little chat.
Perfect, man.
So I was just telling the guys as during the introduction that you guys have been a club now for just over a year. When did you celebrate your 1-year anniversary?
Back in May, around my birthday, I was bored and I was out of work and I just had so much time on my hands that I decided to start going deep on this GTA stuff. Back before even like MC times, we were just like hosting events and inviting randos. Back before even free-game lobbies.
So
yeah,
you guys
we
started
were
out
in
as
like
an
a
assisted
little
aim crew?
Yeah,
We
we
weirdly
started
started
off
as-
in a Sons of Anarchy cut, and we were just like riding motorcycles around, and because we watched Sons of Anarchy and we thought it was fucking awesome.
I literally bought 2 PS4s so they could play with us.
Common experience, people for sure. And so now, tell me about. Send me an invite to your clubhouse so I can get in there real quick. I don't want to hit that thing because then it'll glitch out my mic. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
So you guys, I'm going to do a little bit of a summary based on what I know about you, and I'll let you guys fill in the details, okay? So from what I understand, a lot of like the 3 of you that are in here right now, did you 3 grow up together, like in the same town, middle school, and all of that? Are you those 3 core members?
Yeah, so I've known 420 since 2nd grade, so since I was 8, and I'm 21 now.
Yep.
And we went to school ever since. And then Zach came in 5th grade, and we've been friends ever since. And now Zach lives with me as my roommate, and Zach and Burke lives down the road 2 houses away.
Gotcha. So you guys are legit, like have grown up together, and now you've started this club on GTA, and you play together frequently.
Yeah, dude. We play Fortnite and this now, but back in the day, dude, we loved this game. We love this game.
So do you play GTA a lot at this point, or are you primarily on other games now?
I personally am on GTA a lot. These guys are more into he's Fortnite streaming a little bit now, getting used to editing the videos. And 420 just got a really good job offer right now for his company. So they're putting in less time. Plus I got a new job, so it's like I went from 30 active hours of gameplay to like 3. So everyone says that we like fell off or
Yeah.
It's like, no, I just don't have time to play. I'm working.
Yeah, I legit work 60 hours a week now, so very limited in how much time I can spend.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I know, Lukey. This is something you'd hit me up about a while back, and essentially told you, you guys got to be around a little bit longer, at least make your first year mark, and told you once you get
Dude,
past
I
that, we'll
respect
get
that.
you on. Yeah, we want to make sure a lot of clubs they come and go, right? They pop up, they're around for 3-6 months, they fold. It doesn't seem right to have them, on here where we're trying to showcase clubs until they've put in the time, so to speak. So you guys have put in the time, but with you guys working so much and that kind of thing, what are your goals for the club, Lukey?
Right now, our club, we're kind of taking a sabbatical on GTA. We have fans and other people that come and ride with us, and they like understand that they can prospect, but we're really focusing on Red Dead. So GTA for us was more of kind of like a stepping stone. I always wanted to become like a professional streamer, do this, do that, but I was like, oh, let me wait for Red Dead, the new game come out. You get that new game hype, everyone's excited for it. And my friends were like, nah, dude, like, you're decent at GTA. Why don't you start video editing and like start like getting a crew together now and a fan base? So that's what the little shits was for us now. So I'm pretty content. 1,000 followers on Instagram, 50 subscribers on YouTube. I'm happy.
Gotcha. And tell me about the name of your club. How'd you come up with the little shits?
Well, Poopy Lukey, Crappy Sacky, and Berg Turd. I actually, when I was younger, I had ulcerative colitis along with a few other things. The doctors were really concerned about my health, so I had to do a complete transformation of my life. It was really intense. But it's crazy because not a lot of people know about ulcerative colitis or like these irritable bowel diseases in a lot of people right now. So to be honest, awareness.
Gotcha. And the centerpiece, is that a turd emoji?
Yes, it is. If anybody's familiar with the movie 21 Jump Street, there's a drug in there that they're trying to confiscate from the main drug dealer, and on the package, it's got a poop with a little holy grail above it. So we got rid of the grail. I mean, that's on our founder's patch, but this is basically it in green, and we made it so it's not trademarked and changed it a little bit, so we're all Gucci.
Gotcha.
And I'll go ahead and touch on the name part one more time. He actually he wanted to start an Instagram, but he didn't know what he wanted to make an Instagram for. So I suggested that he make an Instagram for live streaming while he's taking a shit, because he has ulcerative colitis and he takes a lot of shits. And then from there we were already playing GTA, so he was like, dude, let's make our own club. Like, I'll be Poopy Lukey and it'll be Poopy Lukey and the Little Shits. And that's where the name was like born.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so this is one of the reasons that I wanted to have you guys on is, there's always a lot of drama in the GTA MC community. And it's been, people always say, oh, it's, it just got bad. It's been so bad. I miss the good old days, which is nonsense. It's always been bad. If you go back to Social Club, and you look at the patch pick art from PS3 and Xbox 360, like, it was bad back then. It's only gotten worse now. It's definitely escalated over the past few years, for sure. But there's always been sort of an element of people taking it too seriously and feelings, kind of getting out of hand. So one of the things that, again, in terms of my interactions with you guys, it seems like you guys always have a good time together, lots of laughs, lots of goofing around. You have a turd on your back for a patch. So you struck me as somebody who, doesn't take stuff too seriously. So, for me, that was, a big reason why I wanted to have you guys on. But I can tell you right now, in the past, sort of 24 hours, obviously I've had a lot of people come to me and introduce me to another side of you guys. So I want to explore that. In particular, Lukey, I mean, I've had some people tell me that you have said some pretty wild things in regard to, obviously racist comments and that kind of thing. I know you're prepared for the question because I was told, I told you in advance I was going to ask you. So what's up with that? What are you doing running around dropping the N-bomb on people and stuff? Like, is that really how you feel about it?
Well, what do you know about how I feel about it? Because I don't want to sit here and splur and go on, but I can tell you the whole story from the beginning, man. I mean, you have to hear my side, you have to hear Day Savage's side, and then somewhere in between, we're gonna find the truth.
Well, I mean, I've heard it said that you have no problem using the N-word when you're referring or when you're in discussions with people that you think are black. And to me, a lot of times you hear people when they say, oh well, somebody said I'm racist, or and they're like, well, I got to tell you the story. I got to don't take it out of context. If you refer to somebody who's black by the N-word, that's not out of context. That's straight up using a racist pejorative term directly to somebody, which is highly disrespectful and highly offensive. So if you want to tell the story, that's okay. But at the end of the day, really, the specifics around an incident where you used it are immaterial. What I'm more interested in is your beliefs on that subject. I mean, do you really feel like that's appropriate to be talking to people that way in general?
Yes, I believe under the right circumstances, to be honest, one of the rules in our club is that we don't shoot unless shot at. We also talk about that when talking. We're very respectful. As you know, that side of us, if you respect us, we got no problem. We got no issue. But when I come into a peaceful meet and some guy's like, oh, I heard you guys are racist, I was like, what are you even talking about? And he's talking about an event 6 months ago about my boys. I feel like a little, I guess, it's a little inappropriate to bring up at a meet, but I don't know. I don't want to duck the question either because I feel like I'm ducking it because I've been thinking about this all day, and I don't want to like sound like I'm an ignorant racist. But in my opinion, I believe that everyone is a little bit biased when it comes to it. You guys can look up the scientific studies online. I'm not going to sit here and ramble and spew this while everyone's hating on the comments and this and that, but everyone biologically is biased. You can look up the studies, and that stems into racism when it comes to talking about race, color, ethnicity, and also I was young when I was living in Brooklyn, but it's a little different than the rest of the world when it comes to it. I don't want to even get into that because if you're not from there, you really don't understand. But that's what I got to say on that matter. I don't want to go too deep on it because everyone's going to be like, oh, he's a racist. He says the N-word. It's like, no. I was explaining how everyone's a little bit racist. I explained why my member used the N-word in a situation and why I didn't reprimand him. And I was kind of crucified and attacked. And I know that everybody's like seeing the 11-minute videos of Poopy Lukey, the racist. If you guys actually listen to those videos and you notice that it was 2 hours after the whole event online where I talked about it with everybody. Everybody was talking about it. Striker shot at me, and I still talked about it to everybody in the lobby while I was getting shit on by 4 strikers versus 1 me. But 2 hours later, I get an invite while I'm playing fucking Far Cry 5, and they invite me to a party, all of them recording on their phones like this, and then you guys don't hear the part where I'm getting instigated, and they're like, oh, white boy this. What really irks me is that when I was young on GTA, like before I had a gang, every lobby I'd come on, it was like, oh, shut the fuck up, white boy, shut the fuck up. And it's like, how is that? Why aren't we talking about that either? Like, why is that the fact that I'm saying the N-word? Oh, I'm sorry.
So do you think that's primarily what, like black players who are directing that kind of speech towards you? Like referring to you in a racial manner so you feel like it's appropriate to pop back on them in a racial manner? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, dude, if someone comes at me, I'm going to go back. Like, I'm not a turn the cheek kind of guy. Like, I will if we're respectable. Like, as you can see, like, I got friends. I'm not like a fucking sociopath being like, oh, kiss the ring, bend the knee, or die type of situation. But it's like, yeah, dude, if you can't have a civil conversation with me and let me speak, like right now, you're letting me completely speak, not getting cut off. I feel very, like, it's appropriate. When I was talking with the strikers, I was getting, oh, fuck this racist, fuck this white supremacist, like, fucking bigot. It's like, why is that okay that they're saying all that? That's not true. I don't believe the white race is superior in any way. It's just not true. Am I a little bit racist here and there? Yeah, but at the end of the day, I believe everyone's a little bit racist.
All right, so I guess, I mean, what I'm hearing out of you, though, is, I mean, you're basically saying, well, they went racial first, so therefore, you know, it's okay for me to go racial.
No. My guys went racial first in the beginning.
Okay.
It was so this is why we got to bring in the story. This is why you got to bring in the story to the context, or else
this started way back.
I know, this is like...
Well,
when we had
strikers,
20 members.
But still, I guess I'm
right.
But again, you know, regardless of the specific circumstances, I mean, I've heard the tapes. You know, I think that to me, it's, you know, it's really clear the stuff you were saying was in an extremely hostile and condescending tone. It wasn't a matter of, you know, sort of simple kind of game beef or that kind of thing. I mean, you were dropping that N-word with a hard R repeatedly and with confidence, like it was no big deal. And I think that, you know, obviously by, you know, today's societal norms, it's completely out of line and completely inappropriate. And I guess, again, so I'm not really interested in the specific circumstances so much as why you feel like that's appropriate to speak that way to people.
Like I said, man, respect. Like, if you talk to me with respect, I'm not going to use that. You'll never hear that. Have you ever heard me use that in front of you, your crew, any of your allies? Like, no, because you guys know how to talk responsibly, allow the person to finish their conversation and move on. And the 11 minutes everyone heard, like, the meet started early in the evening, and that conversation was at least, well, I mean, I want to check the specific video to see what time it was, but it was hours later. after being bombarded. Oh, by the way, I haven't heard jack shit from strikers for months until they heard that I was going to be on In the Cut, and then last night get spammed. So this is all just for clout. Like, they're just trying to throw dirt because this was our 15 minutes in the limelight because we worked hard to get where we're at. But if everybody wants to define me as the racist, then like I'll leave and like let my boys tell you about our story because it's an epic tale.
So, Zachy, how do you feel about the things that you've heard Lukey say? I assume you've heard this stuff too. I don't know if you were in that party at the time in particular for that particular incident, but is this something that you support as well? Do you like to throw the N-word around also?
So I don't really use the N-word. I do sometimes use it if I'm completely joking around. I will admit it, because I am a goofball and I make jokes about everything. I'm a little inappropriate sometimes. I'm not gonna sit here and tell anyone what they can or cannot say. So
you're okay with it?
I wouldn't say I'm okay with calling someone it in a condescending
Here,
manner.
I can intervene here. I'll intervene here. These guys bitch at me after I do this shit. Like, they literally, we go outside and smoke, and they're like, bro, you went too far. And then I'm a little conceited. I'm a little hard-headed.
How about you, 420?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the leader of your club running around dropping the N-bomb on black players?
Not just black
I
players.
honestly
That's
feel like
incorrect.
It was taken a lot out of context. The point Luke was really trying to make is that just they throw around words like that, and he wasn't really even calling them that in the context of that whole conversation. It was more of just a situation where he was trying to describe it, and he was using the word in the context of talking about the word, not really specifically calling them.
No.
There were times where
No,
day-to-day
I'm sorry to cut you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's not accurate. That's not accurate. He directed the word directly at him as he literally referred to him as that both in the first person and third person repeatedly. This wasn't like he was having a philosophical debate about the use of the word. He was directing the word at somebody with hate. It's not. This is not an academic discussion.
From the context I saw of the conversation, that was the situation that I was made aware of. That's the knowledge I have.
How do you feel about it then if you did hear the tapes? I mean, if you heard the things that he said.
Dude, we just listened to the tape
he's
before
my president.
this.
He's my best friend. Like, he's gonna say something that I'm not gonna agree with. But what do you want? Like, what do you want me to do? He's my best friend. I'm not gonna disown him for saying a word. I'm gonna tell him that he shouldn't say that, and I'm tell him he shouldn't treat people that way. But
I mean, we did like right, like Lukey said. We really don't agree with it, and like we yell at him every time something like this happens, but what am I gonna do? He's my best friend. Like, this is what happens. It's
So I guess Lukey, is the way that you refer to blacks, is this something that you keep in game and on mic only? I mean, one of the things that I heard you say in the tape is that I only call people their face when they deserve it. I guess I'm interested to hear, in your opinion, under what circumstances, somebody who's black deserves to be referred to that way, and whether or not you've ever actually said that to anybody in the real world.
In the real world, yes, dude. Last year, I was going to a concert, Izu, in Brooklyn, and there was this dude. We were just walking down the street down there. There was a guy delivering a couple packages. These three guys jumped out and clobbered him. And I'm just walking by. I'm not hopping in. I'm with a girl at the time, so it's like, I'm not hopping in. This guy's getting jumped, but I fucking stood there and was watching. And yeah, dude, when they fucking said, what the fuck are you looking at? What, boy, I said, you nigger. It's like, I told myself I wasn't going to say it on the stream, but it's like, there's certain situations where it's like, yeah, bro, don't tread on me type of thing. Like, why is it okay for
So you got three guys.
everyone else?
So you got three black guys who are fired up, beating up some dude, and you dropped the N-word on them, and how did they react to that?
Dude, they came at me, dude. They started walking towards me, but by then the fucking feds showed up. When you're in Brooklyn, it's little blocks, little stoops. Three guys jump off the stoop and just beat this guy because he came back from delivering his package too soon because they were trying to steal one of the packages off of his card. And yeah, dude, I was sitting there. There was a couple group of people. I knew I wasn't alone. I wasn't gonna get fucking jumped by 3 guys. There was a group of people. It wasn't dumb to do it in the middle of the day, but there's situations where you gotta say, dude.
So what are the do you feel like you have to say it, and what's the desired outcome that you're hoping for? I mean, it sounds to me like you feel like you're using it as some kind of a tool.
Aren't all words tools? Isn't that what we do to express the way we're feeling in the moment? Like, if I told you about a book I was writing, like, would you use the words I used in that against me type of situation? Like, you're using the context of me in a situation where there's 3 guys beating the shit out of some guy because they caught him stealing, and they were stealing from him, and then they're coming towards me, and you're saying like, wow, dude, I can't believe you used that term, like, what the fuck? And it's like, what would you do in that situation? Would you sit there and be like, oh, I'm respecting the way you guys are? Like, no, dude, I'm going to get under their skin the way they got under my skin. And if it goes to the next step, then it goes to the next step.
The point is that just spitting venom is spitting venom. Like, it's not specifically that, why is their insults not counted as such a big deal that it needs to be talked about on this, but our insults are such a big deal that they need to be talked about on this? People say hurtful things on both sides. Like, it's not... I don't see why we're the first ones that are getting spoken to about a beef like this. I mean, I've been on GTA for a year. I've seen a lot of bad things said.
No, I can tell you why. It's because I wasn't aware of this before you guys were invited to participate. And I can tell you right now, it's not even a question. If I had heard that tape before, there's no way you guys would have got invited to be on this. This wouldn't happen, right? There's no shot. No shot whatsoever.
Well, the point Luke was trying to make about that is that it's not... This isn't a big part of our club. These were isolated situations that happened that are being brought up now because of the situation.
Right. So I guess, one of the things I guess I would like to understand then is, I mean, you generally, and I've talked to you guys about this, I generally, when I invite people on, I never ask them how big their club is, right? You'll never hear me on any of these In the Cut episodes say, how big is your club? Because the reason is, I don't want people who come from a smaller club to feel like somehow they're inferior because they have smaller numbers, or somebody from a bigger club to feel like they're superior because they have more numbers. I don't feel like the numbers and the size of a club are indicative of the quality of the club, right? I mean, a lot of people like to talk about quality over quantity, but they don't necessarily live it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, again, with you guys, part of the appeal is that you are a very small, tight-knit club, and I said, I kind of want to have you guys on to kind of feature somebody who's a smaller club, with the hope that it sends the message to other people in the community that you don't have to be a big club to get on this, program, or to be, to have any kind of significance in the community. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to have you guys on for that purpose, but then, obviously things take a major turn when, I'm presented with this stuff from all these people coming at me and being like, these guys, this is how they feel. So again, normally I don't talk about the size of the club, but I guess, given the size of your club and the current state of it, you've contracted dramatically from, I mean, you were once, over 20 members, something like that, and now you're down to 3 or 4. Do you feel like, some of this, sort of racist attitude has contributed to, sort of the contraction of your club, and do you feel like it's limiting to the growth of your club in the future? I mean, do you feel like I guess, let me ask you this, like you're rocking a black character over there, 420. Are you black in real life, or you just rock the black character?
Wait, before he answers that,
yeah.
Do you wear face paint in real life, Dirty Worka?
No, not at all. No, I'm asking him because I'm about to follow up with whether or not you...
Because it's a character.
No, I'm not trying to catch him in anything. I'm trying to understand if you actually allow black members into your club.
I'm not being caught, man.
Yes,
dude,
we
have
do.
A Mexican. We have a Mexican member.
We have a Mexican member in our club.
All right. So
we have
again,
black people.
Yeah. So I guess that's a question. So you do allow anybody of any race into your club?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
It's like not even a question.
Do you feel like it would? Well, I mean, okay, but I mean, given your statements, I mean, my black friends wouldn't join a club with people who throw that word around in a hateful fashion. Do you feel like that's going to limit your ability to grow as a club?
No, I think what limits our ability to grow is how intense our prospecting phase is.
Tell me about that.
Well, one kid, we were about to patch him up. He was around here for around 4 months. And, when you're with us, man, you're running. You're picking up bikes all the time. You're doing shooting drills. It's intense. You got to wear certain outfits all the time. When you join our club, none of my boys here drive cars. We all always ride Western Demons, period. If we're playing, we're in the full role play. I mean, when we go to bike shows, we'll take out other bikes, and sometimes when we're trying to chase someone down, we'll hop on a gargoyle because it's the fastest in the game. But other than that, man, we're all addicted to the role play.
Did I lose your mic? Can you guys still hear me? How about now?
I think I lagged out.
I was gonna say,
You guys lagging out? Yeah.
Yeah, we all lagged out.
All right, we'll get you back in here. I do want to open up any questions we have from the chat. This is a good opportunity as I'm getting these guys back in here. I'll try to remember them if I can when they get back in. If there's any specific questions, again, try to keep it respectful. Try to keep it focused on the club itself. Voltaire, am I still banned from the chat? Damn, Voltaire, how are you going to get banned from the chat? You got such a thoughtful name, and yet you must have said some dumb shit to get banned from the chat. Maybe don't mess it up on this account, huh? What's up, Warhulks? How you guys doing? Chucky, how you doing, kid? GTA Biker, welcome, Josh. Hoku, let me try this. Hokuto, no poet. Seahawk, what up, kid? Welcome to the stream, guys. I don't have any questions. Okay. Zero, the purpose isn't okay. Please ask if they think racist slurs are acceptable in retaliation. I believe no. He had to qualify that statement, like, just in case anybody wasn't sure. This is certainly, I think that, you know, because of you know, it's such a hot button issue, it's definitely going to dominate a lot of the questions. So let me ask you this. Somebody has asked, why did you pick the color green for your crew?
Green is personally my favorite color. And one of my doctors back in the day told me there's like this color chart of poops. And one of them's green. And I was like, dude, there's no way you can poop out green. He was like, have you ever had a blue slushy before? And I was like, damn, I guess I'll have to test it out.
There you go, guys. There's your answer.
That's it. Not wrong.
The club that's on
Can
today...
I get another invite? I'm sorry.
Yep, sure. It's called the Little Shites MC. As you can see there, that's their patch. We'll get you another invite. They're still pending. Send game invites. 813, send game invite. Get you guys back in here. I'm not here to bash them. I'm trying hard not to. I was there and stuff happened with strikers. I want to see if they tell it. Are you
I
guys
don't know,
on?
we tried, but racism isn't told by a story, man, you know?
Zay GTA wants to know, do you also use other pejorative terms? I mean, is your racial vernacular limited to the N-bomb with the hard R, or do you carry that forward to other races who you feel like have it coming, so to speak?
Oh, of course, dude, I use everything, but how many of you guys know what a mick is?
I do.
Yeah, I knew you
Yeah.
were dirty. I knew it. But nobody talks about that when you get called a fucking mick online. I just don't fucking take offense to it, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. I guess though, but I mean, Lukey, you're not a dummy, right?
I'm with you, dirty.
You know, there's a big difference between a bunch of white dudes busting balls, calling somebody a mick, or calling somebody a guinea, or something like that, and somebody dropping the N-word on somebody who they know to be black. You know, there's a big difference, right?
Yeah, but with the way you related it wasn't similar. That's like saying that it's like us talking and you call me a mick. That's like having two black people call each other the N-word. Like, that's the situation, not the other way around.
Yeah, agreed. No, and that's what I'm saying is when you have, that's just it. Is if you do have, two black people, for example, and they refer to themselves in that fashion, or even these kids nowadays. I mean, frankly, all races use that word with the A on the end. The same way that people in my generation might have called somebody dude or bro or something like that. They use that word. But there's a big difference when you put a point on it. Right? There's a big difference when you use it in a hateful tone towards somebody, and particularly by today's societal rules, that carries a lot of weight behind it. It's kind of a reckless thing to do in a lot of ways. You know what I mean?
What do you mean by reckless?
Well, I mean, again, if you just walk into a restaurant and you say that word, if there's African Americans in the restaurant, there's a good chance that you could bring physical violence upon yourself. Whereas if you walk,
but why is that? Is that because they're black? Why would there be physical violence? Why can't they just say, "Wow, that was awful"? You see, everyone's a little bit racist, man. Like, what if I walked into an Irish pub and called everybody a Mick? Would I get my shit rocked? I don't know. Well,
no, they'd laugh at you. I mean, they might beat you up for fun. No, because we're dealing in reality.
You see, it's not easy, man.
No, it is easy.
I just live on the other side of the coin. It's not.
No, it is easy.
You just did it yourself.
No, I mean, academically, you can try to split hairs about it, but we're dealing in the real world. If you walk into a black club and you drop the N-bomb, you probably get your ass beat. Like, it's not even a question. Whereas if you walk into an Irish bar and said, "Hey, you bunch of mix," nobody would really care. They'd all laugh at you and call you something
racist,
back.
Though. That's saying that black people are more aggressive than white Irish people?
Just talking about reality. It's just the way it is.
That's being racist. That's racist, 30. You're racist.
Oh my God. No, here's the thing. I'm not saying
he's not dirty. He's not trying to call you out.
If you walked into a feminist rally and you dropped a C-bomb, they're going to have a negative reaction to you, possibly violent, right? It's not because they're women. It's because the term is highly offensive and highly disrespectful to the people that you're speaking to, right? If you walked into a football locker room and used some other term that was, highly offensive and highly disrespectful to them, they might react in a violent manner, right? If you walk into a black club and you drop that word, they're gonna react in a violent manner potentially because it's so disrespectful. No, because it's highly disrespectful to the particular people in that area, and they know that you're being highly disrespectful. You could have used some other word that was highly disrespectful, and you would expect to receive potentially physical violence as a response. It has nothing to do with a particular race. It has to do with the fact that when you direct a word at a population of any type that is considered to be highly offensive and disrespectful, you could expect to have somebody react to you with physical violence potentially.
But you just said if I said Mick in an Irish pub, I probably wouldn't get the same reaction I would if I
because
said
it's not highly offensive, right? Because it's not highly offensive. Because mix don't care if you call them mix. I mean, maybe if you go over to Ireland, and you say some shit like that in Belfast, you might get your ass kicked because maybe over there that term has a more sort of a higher level of sting to it, a higher bite to it. You know what I'm saying? So whereas if you say it in Boston, everybody's going to laugh at it. Why? Because we don't care. You know what I mean? Because it's not a big deal. It's not that highly disrespectful and offensive to us anymore. But when you drop that N-bomb with the hot R on it, that is highly offensive, and that is potentially going to be, a problem for you.
Why can I hear it in music, but it's okay in music, but I can't use it?
Because it's not used in a disrespectful manner amongst themselves. It's really just that simple. Again, I think that you're trying to make an academic, sort of discussion here when just the facts of reality is reality. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say yes, it's racist, or there shouldn't be a double standard, and all of those kind of things, and maybe all of those are true, and maybe in some future utopia we'll get to words won't have that level of sort of hurt and disrespect behind them. But the simple reality is today those kind of words absolutely carry that weight behind them. And to pretend that they don't is disingenuous, and I think you know the difference.
Yeah, but that's the point, is that the reason why you've never heard me use those words is because I've never tried to be disrespectful. But to people, Strikers, Day Savage, a.k.a. Dick Rider of the Year, wants to come at me and say, oh, your club's racist. Like, no. One of my members was being made fun of because he has a stutter during a crew war with 2 other crews, and they didn't even know that it was us at the time. And I defended him. because he said the N-word. It wasn't even me at first. But after talking to Day and his boys for 4 hours straight and then finally logging off and then 2 hours later being invited to a party to discuss it again, yeah, dude, I went off. Dude, if you get invited to a party 2 hours after an MC beef, they're obviously recording. When a few months ago, I felt like what I said was inappropriate. Yeah, I went off the tee a little bit, but at the end of the day, I meant disrespect 100%. Fuck Strikers Nation, Strikers K. But at the end of the day, it's not fair that you're saying that my 11 minutes out of a year and a half of my time on the GTA community is what I'm being judged off of. But that's okay too, because that was a part of it. And I'm actually kind of proud that I stuck up for one of my members and that I'll fall on the cross on my sword, whatever, for him, if that's what it takes. And crucify me as the racist of the community. I've heard you guys all say a lot worse.
You've heard people say worse than the way that you were speaking in that interview or in that potty chat?
Hell yeah, bro. I don't know what kind, like, dude, I know that you guys, like, are the respected MC. Like, you guys are, like, the dominant 1% MC. When everyone comes up to you, it's fucking, like, tied off bows and knots. Like, yeah, dude, they'll fight you and shit like that. But with us, man, we'll fight. We used to have a rule that we voted out that, like, we don't leave lobbies, man. Like, we stay and get our shit rocked or turn off the PS4. Like, that's it. So after, like, 4 hours, 5 hours with people, what we used to call a shit show, you really can't use the same 5 jokes over and over again and leave the lobby. And also, everyone's forgetting the fact that we don't go racist until they go racist. So yeah, dude, they're calling me a white boy and make it this or that. I'm gonna say nigger and all that shit. And in the videos, yeah, dude, you can obviously hear me saying joking because I say nigger and they say, don't say that. And then I go nigga, 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 just like I did in this. Like, everyone's so butthurt over a word. Like, excuse me?
Yeah, I don't think it's the word that is the issue. It's the intent behind it. You know, it's that, you know, it's being said in a hateful manner. It's intended to hurt people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't say that word. You could call somebody 100 different words to let them know that you don't like them or that you're unhappy with them. When you choose to use that word, it says, I think, more about you than it says about them. I mean, you can call that, again, I'm not going to run down a list of things you can call somebody, but you can, you know, there's, I guess the thing that I have such a hard time getting my head around is why you choose to go there with it as opposed to, you know, calling them a bitch, calling them an asshole, something like that. Like, I don't understand the desire to go racial like that. And I think that that's why, you know, again, you can have an academic discussion about, you know, whether or not there's a double standard in terms of the way that words are used, but at the end of the day, the reality is there is a double standard, right? It exists. It's a societal norm. You don't say that to people unless you hold certain beliefs. So I guess, you know, again, for me, I'm surprised to hear you say things like, you know, again, I don't call them that unless they deserve it. To me, that's just, you know, it's a statement that goes so against anything that would be considered normal behavior.
I don't know, man. I try to tell you the story, but you don't want the story, but then you're asking for bits and pieces of the story. Like, I don't know what you want, man. Like, you're saying that I fucking hopped into this lobby with Day Savage, and I was like, Day, you're black, right? Yeah, bro. Nigger. No, that's not what fucking happened. I went to a meet. He brought up the incident that happened literally 2 months into us fucking being an MC, almost a year ago, about how there was 25 of us beefing out 3 different MCs, 187 Dick Riders, Wild Girls, and us. And someone made fun of one of my members with a stutter, and he whispered into his mic, literally whispered into his mic, fucking nigger. Didn't know the kid was black, didn't know that he's just from fucking Europe. And in Europe, I don't know if you guys have a lot of Europe charters, they're a little bit looser with that term. It's not as fucking butthurt as it is here in America. But from there, fast forward to 6 months later to when this next biker meet happens with Striker's MC. He's like, oh my God, you're the little shit's MC. Oh my God, I know your content. Oh my God. Yeah, Day, I remember. And then he was like, yo, I heard you guys are racist. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I heard from Wild Boys that you guys say the N-word and shit like that. And I was like, one of my members did use the N-word. I didn't reprimand him. And he was like, why didn't you reprimand him? Like, why? I was like, I just said, oh, one of my members said the N-word. He was like, well, why didn't you reprimand him? Like, dude, that's not cool. Basically, what's like happening here, like, it's not cool, dude. It's not cool. It's like, at the end of the day, like, if he felt that way, if he felt that in that moment he needed to say that to feel good about playing a video game, like, seriously, like, it's a video game. Like, I personally bring it a little bit more into real life, and I see where people have the problem with that, but right now we're talking about a video game, so it's like, yeah, I defended my member because he used that word. Because they made fun of him. Like, yeah, dude, he was embarrassed by his stutter. He went derogatory. They went after him like, what, it's okay to make people with disabilities now? Like, that's okay, but because he used the N-word, he's crucified? Then we get to this meet. He's saying, oh, I'm a racist because my member said it. I was like, I didn't even say it. And I was like, well, if I'm a racist, then you're a nigger. That's where it came from. He called me a racist. I called him a nigger. It wasn't, oh, fuck you. Like, no, dude, he basically, like, kind of did what we're doing here. Like, you gave me a heads up and said that we were going to talk about it, and I respect that. But he just straight up was like, oh, I heard this, this, and this, and I was just talking to him. I didn't know I was fucking being recorded. I didn't know I was going to become fucking notorious President Poopy Lukey.
And so I guess, you know, I wasn't sure how you were going to respond to this, right? As I was playing this out in my mind, I was thinking to myself, like, you know, how do you come back from that, right? Like, this is an audio recording of you speaking in this fashion, and I said, you know what, let's get the kid on the stream. Maybe there's some context, maybe there's some situation under which he can explain it. Maybe he can, you know, I don't know, apologize, maybe not say it again, maybe you know, find, you know, some way to redeem himself. But I just hear you continue to drop it over and over again. I hear you chuckle when you say it, and I don't have, you know, any sense that you feel like, you know, anything that you said was inappropriate or in any way out of order. Like, I feel like, you know, your guys here are basically like, yeah, well, he's my buddy, you know, I don't like when he talks that way, but, you know, he's my friend, so, you know, I cut him some slack. And you're basically just, you know, kind of laughing it off, like, you know, he called me a racist, so I basically confirmed it by dropping it, you know, by referring to him, you know, with a racial slur. And I got to be honest with you, you're playing it a lot different than I thought you would. I didn't, you know, I expected a, you know, a better, you know, more sort of cohesive, you know, response, or maybe even, you know, again, a little bit of contrition, but I just don't sense that out of you. I feel like you stand behind that. You feel like, you know, that's acceptable behavior. And I think you're going to find, in this community, if you guys want to, you know, continue to expand your circle and have friends and, you know, get along with people, that's, you know, absolutely a position that you're going to have to reevaluate going forward. Otherwise, you know, you're going to have a real hard time in the community.
I mean, I am going to say I'm sorry to the people that, like, genuinely believed in us. Like, I'm thinking of a few people right now that are, like, super disappointed and this and that, but at the end of the day, I'm human, man. Like, I'm sorry that you guys thought that I was, like, this messiah coming to change the community and be this and that and all that shit, but I'm human, dude. I'm from fucking Brooklyn, New York. I moved to country bumpkin farming Dale. I've lived there ever since. Like, this is me. Like, if you guys don't like it, you guys can stop watching the stream. Dirty, you can kick us, you can unfollow me, but, like, at the end of the day, people aren't sliding into my DMs because they're like, oh my god, like, you're a racist. Like, no, dude, they respect my art. My art comes from where it comes from. Like, we make fucking hate videos on MCs that try and beef with us. Like, I don't know what you guys are expecting on the stream. I'm not trying to say that, like, I'm breeding racism in the community, but yeah, I have my personal views, and I'm not going to sit here and explain it to everybody. I tried to do that the day, and you saw where that went. Everybody saw the 11 minutes of me freaking out on him, not 5 grown-ass men freaking out on me, just taking it, listening, waiting for my turn to speak. But it's okay, man. And for the growth on the community, man, we weren't going to go off on this whole 1% shit, but everybody in the community is garbage at 1%. I mean, if you got, like, Dirty, I'm not even trying to take shots at you personally. Like, I respect you as an interviewer. I respect you as, like, a superior. I really, like, dude, I'm a fanboy over you, period. But at the end of the day, my boys have an AR, a pistol, and a shotgun. They can use their melees, and that's it. Like, dude, we take on tanks and hydras, but we don't really care about the community because the community never cared about our input. And now that they finally care, this 11-minute skeleton in the closet's coming up, and whatever.
Okay, well, we're an hour into the program. I'm going to leave it at that. I had wanted to wrap this up at about an hour, so I do want to thank you guys for being on. I want to thank everybody who watched today. We got 117 people in the chat. To all of my channel sponsors, thank you very much. For 420, 813, thank you guys for being on and sharing your thoughts and repping your crew. I appreciate having you guys on. Again, thanks to everybody who watched. This is the wrap for the end of episode 9 of In the Cut. In the stream in 3, 2, 1.